Hey guys, this is what my sock looks like after almost finishing pattern A2. I want to show you the last 2 rounds of pattern A2, since depending on your shoe size, you need to decrease either 4 or 8 stitches in the second to last round of A2. I am knitting the medium size, so I have to decrease 8 stitches evenly, which means that I knit 7 stitches before I knit 2 stitches together. After this round, knit the last round of A2, which is just another round in blue without any decreases, before you switch to the next pattern, which is A3. In the meantime, I have knitted pattern A3 off camera. Here I am finishing the last round of A3. For the small or the large size, you can just knit A3 without knitting any decreases. For the medium size, you need to decrease 4 stitches during the 6th round of A3. This may sound a little bit complicated, but if you read the written instructions while knitting along to this video series, it is actually quite easy to follow. You can now cut the blue yarn because we won't be needing it for the heel part. At this point, you should have either 56, 60 or 64 stitches in total. After finishing A3, knit 1 round in ocean view while decreasing 2 stitches evenly. For the medium size, knit 28 stitches, then knit 2 stitches together. Knit another 28 stitches before you knit 2 stitches together. The leg is now finished. For the medium size, keep the first 14 stitches on the first needle and slip the remaining stitch or stitches onto the next needle. Also, only keep the last 14 stitches on your last needle and slip the remaining stitches onto the third needle. I already have exactly 14 stitches on my last needle, so I can start knitting the heel right away. First, we are going to knit the heel flap. Use the previous needle to knit across the stitches of the first needle. That way, all of the heel stitches will be on one needle. Turn and knit the first stitch. Purl until you get to the last stitch of the needle. Knit the last stitch and turn. Knit across the heel stitches and turn again. Continue knitting and purling back and forth until your heel flap is 5.5 centimeters long. In the written instructions, all of the stitches of the back row are purled, but I like to knit the first and the last stitch of the back row because that creates little knots along the sides of the flap. In the next video, we will pick up new stitches along the sides of the heel flap, and these knots will make it much easier to space out the stitches evenly. Next, set a marker in the middle of the last row you knitted before you start knitting the heel decreases. For the medium size, knit until 8 heel stitches remain. Slip one stitch as if to knit, knit a stitch and pass the last stitch over. Turn and purl until 8 heel stitches remain. Slip the next stitch as if to purl, purl 1 stitch and pass the last stitch over. Turn and knit until 7 stitches remain. Slip 1 stitch as if to knit, knit a stitch and pass the last stitch over. Turn and purl until 7 stitches remain. Continue decreasing like this until only 14 heel stitches in total are left. In the next video, I will show you how to pick up the stitches for the foot. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave a comment below. Thanks for watching and I'll see you soon.